Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We're painting the goldfinch and we're moving on. So I want to show you what this looks like. It gets pretty dark. I'm probably going to touch this up just a little bit more right in here and get that a little darker. And I think I may have missed a little bit on the underneath side here over where the wings meet the tail and just get a little black in there, but I'm not that concerned. We'll hit that along the way. The main thing we're going to do today is we're going to finish the underneath side of the tail here, and I'll show you how to do that. And then what we'll try to do is we'll move on and get the beak going as well. So if you'll bear with me, I'm going to show you how we do that. But I just wanted to show you how this thing's starting to come together. You can see it. It's pretty, the black is really standing out, okay? I may give this one more coat, which has like around 2 coats, maybe 3 coats, all totaled on the top here, okay? And then that is pretty good. I think we're in good shape on that one. So I'm going to take you on this one, and we'll move to the underneath side, finish that up. Make sure that our ends are not white, okay, that are coming around these edges here. So that's something that we'll have to complete as well. And then we'll move on. And I'm going to answer some questions in between here about sealing. For those who have asked me about how to seal the bird and stuff like that, and I've often mentioned that I like to use a spray. It's a Krylon spray, 1301. Now it's 51301. One of my subscribers had a question, and I hope he gets the answer from this video, that the Krylon says this is not a sealer. And what I'm trying to get at is it's probably what they want to call it, and that's fine. You know, they didn't design the product as a sealer. They designed it as a coating, okay? When we've used this over the years, it's worked, okay? I'm not saying that it's the end all of everything that should be used. There are different products that are out there, and I try to, let you know that. Gesso was one that I didn't prefer, but that's not saying you can't use it. You just have to water it down so it's not so dense that you start losing detail within your texturing. And that's the reason why I stayed away from it. And the other reason is, too, I use a titanium white paint on top of, as my primer after I seal it, as the white base, because I go in and burn sometime on top of the paint, and it gives me some shadowing effects that I want to use sometime. Not always, but I just seem to go that way. In answering the person who questioned about what Krylon has called their 51301, which is what I use as a spray, they call it, it's not a sealer. But what really happens is the material soaks into the wood, and that is what I'm looking for. It doesn't stay glossy. It's not like a surface, like a gloss medium that stands out there. The only time you're going to see any gloss on your piece is really on the beak because we super glued it and the pores had already been closed, okay, by the super glue. And that gives you that bony structure that we're trying to look for. And then before we even paint it, I have you sand that to take the gloss edge off of it. Because if it was glossy, everything on your piece, if the Krylon was just a coating on top, everything would get glossed up, okay? And it would be too shiny. And you don't have that effect with the Krylon spray, the 51301. And that's what Krylon, rightfully so, says that it's not a sealer, but it does. It does actually penetrate into the wood, and when you're done, you almost have less than a matte finish. Okay, it soaks in, and I've been using this for years. It's not like I'm trying to lead you into something that isn't right. I wouldn't give you that information if I thought it was going to give you the wrong look. Okay. Now, I know everybody has a different way. There are several products out there, I would assume, at least they were when I was selling a lot at shows and stuff like that, where there's different primers that are white that has a sealer and a white coat all in one. I don't recall what the manufacturer was, so I apologize for that. But for the most part, I try to guide you in what's going to work, okay? I call it a sealer. It's semantics here. You know, it's doing what I want it to do, okay? And there's other products out there that act as a sealer too. And hey, go for that too. You know, I'm not even against priming it with I always want to forget the name that I mentioned at the beginning here. Gesso. I just stay away from it. That's me. Okay, but some of the top carvers swear by it. Okay, so don't say I'm the end all here, but if you have somebody that's knowledgeable on this front, I would say listen to them too, okay? I'm just giving you what I think works for me, okay? And everybody has a different way of looking at it. So, but I understand. I don't doubt that Krylon does not think it as a sealer, but it does what I want it to do, okay, on that end. And you can get it from, at least from what I think somebody said, you can also get it from Amazon. You can usually get it from a craft store sometime or a hobby shop or something like that. So you could try that or try a couple of them and see, you know, do different things, you know, and experiment, you know, and see what you like and then go from there. And on the idea of anybody that's looking to want to do this project, I do have kits available that give you the blank, the feet, the eyes, the pattern, all in one, and you can follow along with me. And that's for any of the videos I have. I have patterns, I have kits for any of them. I also have the bits I use. I sell the equipment that I use, the burners, the burning pens, and so on, and paint trays. I'll even paints. I have small sets of acrylic paints to get you by to do almost any of the projects I do. I have some inexpensive brushes if you need that as well. So I do have that available. And if anybody wants to write to me, again, I'm going to give you my email address. It's Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 at gmail.com. So if you ever need anything, write to me through my email address. and I will get the catalogs out to you. And I also will advise you if you want to question me on things. I'll gladly try to guide you in the right direction. I'm not here to misdirect you if I can do that. And I don't say I have all the answers, okay? I'm just telling you what worked for me. So I'm going to try to work on the tail end of this. We have a white tail. The rump is still going to stay white here, this lower portion of the rump. And then we'll go in and we'll finish this up, and then we'll get on to the beak. We're getting pretty close. So bear with me, and I'm going to move the camera down so that you can follow me along with me, and away we go. So hang in there. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to rinse my brush out just to get that wet. I'm going to come back. Remember, this was paint that's been sitting for a few days, so I'm going to put a drop or two in each one in the black. And I'm going to stir each one of them up to get them going. And this is on the creamy side. I'm going to rinse my brush out on each one. Make sure I got all the paint out. At least I'm going to try to. And then I'll go into the black. And we'll stir that up real good. This seems a little thicker, so I'll go put another drop or two. Stir that up real good. Get the excess off so I don't get all the stuff off my brush. Clean that out. Now, what I'm going to do, the outside two feathers are going to get darker and the inside's going to get gray. So what I'm going to do is in this cup right here, I'm just going to put a couple drops of water just to have, so if I need to water something down. But I'm going to go into my black, and for those who know me, I'm going to go in and get my optovisors so I can see better. At least try to anyway. Get the black on. I'm going to do the outside feather. Okay. And I'm coming up to the rump. I hope you're seeing this well. I'm going to get a little bit more on my brush here so I can coat it. And I'm going to do the second feather in on the heavy side. And I'm trying to keep this under control. I want to get this right up to the rump. Probably should have used a smaller brush, but this is about a number 5 or so, or something like that. But I'm working with it. I can do it. I want to get this tail completed. Let's see if I can. There we go. Get a little more paint. Get that in there. Now, here's where I missed a little bit on the last video, so I'm going to come back in here on the underneath side and get some of that in there. And then there's right in here. The smaller brush would be more advantageous to be able to do this, but if you go nice and slow, you can accomplish it. Just like so. And if you get some black up in here, we always got white paint to paint over, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just on the top of my tray here. I'm going to get a little black out, just a little bit like that. Rinse my brush off, get most of the black paint out. Now I'm going to start my white paint up. Now that's been sitting for about 4 or 5 days. So you can survive some of this, okay? Now I'm going to try to take some of the paint off my brush, and then I'm going to mix it with this, because what I'm looking for is a gray. And the gray is going to be the center. Well, maybe not that gray. Let me try to get a little black in here. I want to get it. That's really looking gray. And I want it to be like a charcoal gray. So I'm coming in here. And the center feathers are going to be the light ones eventually. Now, let me rinse my brush out to get all that paint out. Then I'm going to come back in with the heavier black. And I'm just going to go over this one more time. And I want to make sure that I get the edges. Okay. And even up in here. I get the edges there. And if I didn't get this, I'm going to come in, do all the edges there. Now I got a little bit of black up in here, or gray. I'm going to go back and touch that up in a minute here. But first I want to just get these guys going. So I'm doing the first 2 outside feathers on each side. And they will be as dark almost as the top ones. Okay, and then I say, and I'll touch this up one more time. Right there. Okay. And a little bit over here again. Okay, I'll rinse my brush out. Hopefully my, what's in the hair dryer will work. Again, you're not blowing it across your paint. I'm actually aiming this upward, and I don't want to blow it on my brush neither. So here we go. And I don't want anything really runny on here. This may look wet, but it's not real wet. Okay? And I'm going to try to dry this. And it'll only take about maybe a minute, if that, to get this really dry. Because I want to give this at least a couple of coats. I think I need to give it a coat on top too that I didn't address before, but look at that. Now you can see that pretty much is pretty dry. I can get my hand in there. For the most part, it's dry. Now I'm going to come back. Woo, that was lumpy. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to come in, and it'll start to get more like a solid black, at least for the first 2 feathers here. Okay. And then I'll get a little bit more on this one. And coming down through here. And I'll get this going here. And then I'm going to do the top as well. And I'm giving this another coat. And I want to make sure I'm not loading this up in any one area. Make sure you're getting the ends. And you're coming around. And I think I got most of it right on up to the rump area. And there's a little bit back in here that I need to cover, and a little bit on the ends. I could see that. So let me look around. I think I'm pretty solid. There's a little bit, maybe I'll do a little bit of extra coat right in here just to get that black. This is sort of like a third coat, maybe, or a fourth one, but not heavy. Not heavy at all. But I want like a solid black. And even here where I put it on, it looks like it's sort of wet. Now I rinse my brush out. You can see what I've done there. Now, one other thing I want to do, I don't know if this has set up yet. I'm going to come in here and just gray this out one more time, right in the center like that. Okay. Now, let me stop there, rinse my brush out, and now we're going to hit it with the Again, don't put your finger on the paint. The painted area, I should say. But we don't want to. That's that. I'm making sure I have everything dry. Now, I see an area that I'm cheating on here, and that is these edges in here. I have this right through here that I need to get black. So I'm switching to the number 3 brush. Woo, got some color in there. Let me get that out. And I'm going to come in and pick up some black and really get this to a point. I sort of twist it because I want a point on this, and I'm going to touch this up right in here. And I'm going to come up further. This is where it looks like it cups underneath. Let me go back and charge this up again. Right in there. I hope I didn't go out of screen here. I was doing this edge right here. Sorry about that. Started concentrating on what I was doing. Then try to do it over on this side too. Get this right through here. There you go. Then I'm going to come back on this side. Get this a little bit right in here. Okay. Now it looks like some of this black got, like I just did. Here's what you do. If you get the paint on the wrong spot, like I just did there, I just wet the area, and then I pick up a tissue, wet it, and you can pick it right up. Okay? Now, I'm going to come in just so I can clean this up. The black got onto the breast more than it did on the underneath side. So I'm just going to pick up some of the yellow. I'm going to come in right alongside of that. I hope you can see this well. And glide that through. And I'll do that again, just to make sure I have this covered the way I want. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Now, I'm going to do a little touch up here. I'm going to rinse my brush out. I'm taking the smaller brush. I have some yellow down in here I didn't want, so I'm going to pick up some of my white and come in and dress that out. I'm going to get a little water here, so it maybe too much water. I don't want anything runny, nothing runny at all. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to spread the white out so we have a nice even coat of white. Okay, so we got that, and we'll try this now again. Now, the last thing I want to accomplish for this video, without making this too long, which I did on the last one, and I apologize for that. Here's what I've done. To get the color of the bit of the bill, excuse me, that I want, I have yellow here, and I moved it, just picked up some stuff, put it in this cup, and then I have, this is called cadmium red light, but a cadmium red would be fine, or even if you have an orange colored tube, just a little bit. You only need a little bit into the yellow, and we're going to play with this a little bit. If this doesn't come out to the right color, I mixed very, very little of the red. Okay, this is cadmium red. Doesn't have to be light, but if you're using the red, just cadmium red, you want to use very little, okay? Or if you have an orange, very little into the yellow, okay? And you brought the yellow, just a scoop of it in here and start, and you get like a color like this. Now, I'm going to apply this, but 10 to 1 says it ain't going to be the one I want. Yeah. I stir it up. Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. It's not the color, so you got to play with this. And there's no, I'm going to try to get you to the color. Now, you can see some of this on the end of the tube here. I get a little bit on there. That may be even more than I want, believe it or not. But I'm going to mix that in with this. And we'll try this. Okay, see how that comes on to an orange color? Well, I may just pick up a little bit of the yellow and mix that in again. Okay, and if this is too bright, I may come back with the yellow again, but let's try it on here. I'm gonna come in. This is like real watery. That's the trick, is to get the right combination. And I don't want a lot of water. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this onto the beak without it running, okay? I'm going to apply, get a coating nice and even, and just on the beak now, just on the beak. I'm going to do the underneath side coming across. Hope you can see this well. Okay, and I'm getting the excess that may have puddled in one spot here. And I'm going to try to get all of the white of the bill covered. Okay. Now, I'm looking at that and I know it's not the color I want. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to rinse my brush out so you don't go contaminate your paint. I'm going to pick up just a little bit of this. This is way, way more than what I want. We're looking for almost an orange yellow. And what I'm going to do, let me rinse this out to get most of that red out of there. I'm going to pick up some of the yellow and I'm going to try mixing it so it looks a little more orangey. Now I'm going to just give it, you got to play with this a little bit. We're getting closer. I have a lot of paint on here, so I'm going to apply and then maybe go over it with the yellow afterwards. That may be the answer to it. Yeah, let me just, I'm gonna rinse that out. Just get and pick up the excess here. It will take some of the paint away, but it's very heavy. Not heavy, but it's globbing up here, like, and I don't want that. I'll rather put a couple of washes over this to get it just right. See, I need to get a little bit more up here and a little bit more back here. Okay, so let me stop on that and I'm going to dry this. Here we go. What I'm trying to do is get to a certain color, and the red can dominate at times, but I'm looking almost for an orange color, if I can describe it. Once this is dry, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to do this again with the mix, but I'm just going to get a little bit of the paint, clear my brush off again, just pick up some of what looks like more orange, and then I'm going to come in and I'm trying to get it to a consistent color. And we're getting there. Get this side. And a lot of times it's just a trial and error to get the right color. Hope you guys can see this. It's okay. That's getting closer. Now I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to dry this. This should dry pretty fast. Now, what I want to do is, let me try this. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow, take most of it off my brush, and then I'm going to just touch this. Even take some more of the paint off. Let's see if this will do it. Just get a little bit of this. This. And we're getting closer. Let me go back again with this. I think I need to do one other color in here, and I'll let you know in a second here. Rinse your brush out again. Now, here we go. We're getting closer, but that's not quite it yet. Okay, let me get one more tube of paint. Let's see what we can do here. I have what is called raw sienna. I'm just going to put a pinch or two right here, and that's just it, just a little bit. And I'm going to get that, load up my brush with a little bit of water, mix that around like that. Now you're actually seeing me experiment here, and that's what we're trying to do. I'm going back into the orange red. Let me clean that off. A little more orange red. Okay. Now, that is raw umber, a little bit of the yellow, and a little bit of the red, all mixed in there. And I think this may be the combo. Yep, this is it. Maybe I got a little too much water, but this is the color I'm looking for. Hope I didn't go out of camera again, but I'm just getting that little bit. It's not like I need a lot. And that's toning down that orangey color. I didn't want a strong color. Okay. So I'm gonna let that dry. We'll still play with that a little bit after this, but I want to come back and get some of the, make sure all the paint's out of your brush now. I'm going to come back with the yellow, just solid yellow now. And where I come up to the beak, I want to make sure I get everything that's yellow around here, right on up to the beak. So load my brush up, stretch it out, come right around to this side. Okay, get that all in there, because you don't want any white up in here. Okay, so that beak is really very close to what I want. I probably will enhance a little bit in the split of the beak, and I'll show you how to do that. And we'll finish this up on the next video, and then I'm going to show you where we have to do some edging on all the feathers in here. There's quite a bit of feathering that needs to be done in here. So I'm going to let this dry, clean your brush out. Remember what I told you before. Don't throw your paints away. For the stuff that's up top here, well, I'm going in with my plastic again. I'll lay that over. All you need to do is put a drop of paint in each one of these, and they'll stay for at least another couple days. And you could get something to put it down so it seals everything. And then you can get this, plug that on there. But we're shaping up. We really are. And I will follow up with I think the final painting. We have white along the bib here, not the bib, the mantle in here, and then we get a lot of white. Let me just show you the finished one. Here's where we're going to get white in here. We're going to get white on the edges, on these edges, on these, and these, and these. And I'll show you how to do all that, okay? And we'll button this up. Now you can see the color I'm shooting for here. So that's the key. And then I got to get a little shading in the beak area there too. So bear with me on that, and I'll try to get you in on that and see if we can't nail that baby down. And so stay with me. We'll be on our way almost after that. On the next video, I think we'll be done most of the painting, and then we'll be doing some mounting and stuff like that. And we'll get it similar to what I did on the original one, which is this guy here. And we'll get a nice piece of wood, get the legs on, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll mount it to the base, okay? And show you how I attach that as well. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that as well. And we were going to get this guy to fly pretty soon. And we'll button this up. And if you can pass the word out to any of your friends as well, I'd appreciate it. And like I said, if you need anything, you can contact me through my email address. And that's Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 @gmail.com. I do have catalogs. I could get that out to you. I could email it out to you, and we could go from there. And if you need any equipment or kits or anything like that, definitely contact me, and I'll see if I can't help you. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.